Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to today's video. Today we are going to make a gun system in Unity. So as you can see, I have an AK-47 and I can shoot stuff. Alright, I can reload and I can choose other guns like a pistol for instance, and this one has a different range as you can see here, it's and a different fire rate as well and damage. So let's get started. So here let's see what I have in the scene. So I've got a basic capsule collider that is basically just a player. Alright, this will be your player, and inside of it I have my two guns. So this is the AK-47 and then this is the pistol. Alright, as you can see here it is, and each one of them has a gun script which takes in a scriptable object as well as the gun visual. Alright, and then these you can leave it as is, and the actual capsule collider or the player has a character controller simple script as well as the character controller. And then here we have our basic movements parameters, and here we have all the guns that we can choose from. So as you can see here, this reference to here, and then a current gun, this will be an index to show which gun is currently selected. Alright, and then we've got an ammo display and a crosshair, as well as these that we won't be taking into consideration here. And as for the UI, so if I switch to 2D, we've got a crosshair that changes based on the gun, and then we've got the ammo count here, and then I've got here is a small selection. So this is just a button with a script called Shogun in UI, again taking this gun scriptable object, the actual image and text as well, and then the gun in text. Alright, so now that this has been done, let's explore the actual gun scriptable object and then we move on to the coding side of things. So this is the gun scriptable object: a name, a description, an icon, a crosshair sprite, and then the parameters as the range, damage, max ammo and cooldown. So yeah, so that's about it. Now let's go and take a look at the coding side of things. So this is the gun scriptable object, and in here we have, as you can see, the name, description, the sprite and the parameters of each gun. Moving on to the iDamageable, which is an interface for all objects that can get damaged. So we just have two methods, one for the def and one for the damage. And this is just a simple entity. This would represent whatever the gun can affect, and as you can see here, it derives from the iDamageable, and here we implement the damage and the die function. And yeah, we also have a value for the max health which gets documented each time. This is the character controller. So this script is much larger, but for the sake of this video we'll only be focusing on the important part of it. Alright, so basically here, as you can see, we've got the list of guns, the current gun selected, the iDamageable. This will be used by our physics raycast here to indicate what object we actually are hitting, and then we've got the crosshair and the UI things, and then a gun script selected gun which returns the currently selected gun, and then on void start we just initializes everything. We start the gun handler coroutine, and then on void update we check if the mouse position is locked, and then we check for what we are hitting with the raycast and checking if we are pressing the R button for the reload. And then here we have the same script, and then continuing that we have the select gun method which takes an index and select the previous gun and then selects a new one. And here is the I enumerator for the gun handler which loops through the entire game, and here we just wait for until we click the mouse button and we check whether or not we have any ammo left, and if we do, then we just shoot and wait for the cooldown of the gun. And then moving on to the next one here, which is the gun script, which takes in the scriptable object of this current gun, the gun object, and then we just have two variables to keep track of how many ammo we have left, and then a void select which references the crosshair and sets it and then just reloads. And then as you can see, here is the reload method. It just checks whether or not we have any ammo left, and then we try and take the maximum allowed ammunition to reload the gun. Here is the methods, the formula rather, and we just decrement from the count. And then here is the void shoot, which basically just takes in an undamageable and applies the damage there. And here you'll notice that there is a question mark next to damageable. These question marks allow us to also pass in null as a damageable, but then given that this is null, this damage method will not get run, basically will not be called. So this whole line will only execute if damageable is not null. Alright, and then we've got the ammo text, which basically just returns the current ammo over the ammunition that we have, max capacity. So yeah, that's it. So we have now reached the end of today's video, and if you followed everything, you should have a fully working gun system in Unity. And if you guys found this video helpful, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you have not already, and please feel free to leave any suggestions or comments, and yeah, I'll try to respond to you guys. On that note, watch my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.